Hey race fans, welcome into the preview show presented by Toyota. I am Alex Weaver. I'm now going to welcome in Jonathan Merryman. Jonathan, Ryan Blaney, back-to-back at Dega, looking like a super speedway ace.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say he's put himself in the conversation with Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano as favorites at the super speedway. Long time coming for that win, but Todd Gordon can sure set the cars up on the super speedways.
Yeah, first one for that driver and crew chief matchup over there at Team Penske. All right, turning the page now to the Tricky Triangle. We're heading to the Pocono Mountains up in Pennsylvania. What is the week in the shop going to look like? Because you have to go from a super speedway to now getting ready for a doubleheader at Pocono.
Well, these cars have been prepped, I think, for quite some time. So I think at the shop, it's business as usual. Now, if you're a crew chief or a crew member going into a doubleheader weekend, you got a long weekend ahead of you. If you're a race fan, it's great because you have, twice the Cup Series action. But you really have an opportunity here to, I guess, gain double points, so to speak. I mean, drivers are really treating this kind of like a bonus weekend, at a time where they can really capitalize and double up some points, because let's be real, you're going to use the same car from Saturday to Sunday unless you tear it up. You don't want to tear it up because then you're going to have to go to a backup car, and then you're going to have to start from the back in the second race. So it's going to be interesting. I think we've seen a little bit of this with the doubleheader weekend at Charlotte, the doubleheader weekend at Darlington. They have not been back to back like this, so it'll present itself as a challenge. But I think we'll see some great racing at Pocono.
Basically, it just means a lot of coffee for all those crew guys between Saturday and Sunday. All right, well, we do know that Pocono is tricky to figure out, but the Toyotas, specifically Joe Gibbs Racing, seem to have Pocono figured out.
Yeah, and if you kind of look at their stable a little bit, Denny Hamlin, his rookie season, comes out and wins at Pocono. He goes back-to-back at Pocono his rookie season. Martin Truex Jr., you can kind of put a pin in Pocono where him and Cole Pearn kind of clicked together. They kind of meshed, and then their careers kind of took off. And Kyle Busch, that was one of the last tracks on the circuit that he hadn't won at, and he was able to, put that feather in his hat. So a lot just meshes with the type of driver and the type of information that Denny can give his teammates there, the knowledge that Truex and Cole Pearn, who is now gone, and James Small there is left with from Pearn, and then Adam Stevens and Kyle Busch are just so good. When you have that quality of people working there, tracks that are very challenging are going to come a lot more natural to the people there.
Both of these races are going to be 350 miles or less, which is the shortest that we've ran at Pocono. Can we expect some different pit strategies and some strategy plays to come into play here?
It's the Tricky Triangle for a reason. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know anything about pit strategy. I know that they used to say you run it like a road course and you run it backwards in terms of the math. I don't know what the length of these races is going to do. It's a big unknown. No practice, no qualifying. That's also a huge unknown. We take a look back at the past couple of races that we've had that with, and I think the racing's been a little bit better. So I think the looming unknown situation of fuel mileage, who's going to be fast off the truck, who's going to start where, that is going to make this doubleheader weekend that much more intense, that much more enjoyable as a race fan.
Well, as always, only 3 turns at Pocono, but 2 races, 2 picks. Who are your 2 picks to get into victory lane on Saturday and Sunday?
All right, Kevin Harvick's got a couple more racetracks he needs to win at before he wins at all of them, minus the Roval. We still haven't decided what we've done with that. I think Harvick finally gets a Pocono win, and I think Kyle Busch is going to also get a Pocono win either Saturday or Sunday.
You mentioned Kyle Busch. I'm going to stay with the Joe Gibbs Racing camp. I'm going to do Denny Hamlin. Don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday for either one of these, but Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr.
All right, sounds good. I mean, you can't go wrong with the Gibbs guys. They just have it figured out.
Yeah, imagine that. All 4 of the guys that we picked are guys that have won at Pocono before. All right, you don't want to miss the doubleheader in the NASCAR Cup Series. It's going to be a weekend stacked full of racing. Saturday at 3:30 on Fox is the first one, and then Sunday race will be 4 p.m. on FS1. Tune into those. We'll see you guys right back here next week.